It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here and this is episode number 208 of our podcast where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee roaster in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Hazelnut.
Because we're nuts.
Hazel.
And it's delicious. It's so good. If you are not drinking Bright and Early's hazelnut coffee, you are truly missing out. You need to check this coffee out. You get 15% off with our code. That's CWTCL15. Where should everybody go?
brightandearlycoffee.com.
And if you like K-Cups, check them out on Amazon. Go follow them on social media. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious hazelnut coffee and chat?
I am. But first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Ooh, got a little chilly today.
First, it's too hot. Now it's too cold.
I know, I love it. It wasn't too cold. It was great.
Sweater weather.
It's what I've been waiting for.
Cozy.
Yeah. But this is the way it kind of goes. Now I need...
It goes from summer to chilly.
Yeah.
Winter is here.
I'm kind of happy with that.
I'm okay.
I'm kind of good with that. This summer burned me, literally. Man. I mean, it got so hot that I did not feel good. You know,
welcome to my world.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I'm ready for some coldness.
I'm all up for the cozy, and the sheep are happier now because it was so hot with all their wool.
I got some fingerless gloves from Holly Ann today.
What'd I tell you?
Can we interject the woo-hoo-hoo cheers?
They're knitted lace.
They're very pretty.
And they're made from Phoebe.
But because she's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I use them while putting the chickens in the night.
I was such a snob about them for years. I was like, I'm not knitting them. They don't keep your hands warm.
They do.
But they do.
They really do.
The theory is that they warm your blood and your fingers stay warmer.
Oh, yeah.
I wear them all the time. I have them on right now in the studio.
Because the studio is always super cold.
It's a little chilly.
It could be 105 out and you would be wearing them down in the studio.
It's possible.
I still say this winter we got to get that stove going. I mean,
I'm all for it.
That would be great.
We'll be cooking. Literally.
We got a stovetop on there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got the cast iron on there.
Say, there's already a cast iron frying pan,
it's all
a tea kettle, and 2 tin mugs over there. We're all ready to go.
Our studio is set. It's lit. Ella would kill me for saying that.
Yes, she would.
But yeah, you know what? I'm excited. It's November. It's birthday month. It's Thanksgiving month.
I found the greatest thing for you in the thrift shop for your birthday.
Yay!
I was like, this looks like Chrissy. And no, it was not another giant chicken platter.
I don't remember when my parents went on their double date a few weeks ago. And we surprised them and showed up.
At IKEA.
And my mom said, I think that girl is a clone of Chrissy. And it was
funny.
Me.
And we could hear them. We could hear their voices. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I personally would like it if there were a Chrissy clone because I would give you like a bigger chunk of work.
Oh, God.
Then please do this. Thank you.
We need 4 of all of us.
I like that idea too. I'd be like, Holly number 1, go let the chickens out.
Yeah, exactly.
Holly number 2, go feed the sheep.
We need a lot of all of us, that's for sure. I don't know. Well, I'm excited for the holidays. I'm excited for Thanksgiving.
Me too.
All the good stuff. The tree is not up. I wanted it up by now, but it's not. Hey, maybe by the time this airs, it will definitely be up.
I have a gigantic stack of books on the table where my tree goes. So I can either put up my smaller tree, the white one,
right,
or the really nice 7-foot one.
Yeah.
But that requires me moving things, and I don't know if I have the energy for it or not.
I don't know either. Oh, before we move on, we have to wish, because we're a few days, this is going to come out a few days after, but Sophia, happy 20th birthday, baby girl.
Happy birthday, honey.
Oh, girl. How can I have a 20-year-old? I don't know, man.
Stop.
Okay, on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button because we need your help. They count them and they rate us. So yes, hit that subscribe button.
Do they rate us or rate us?
What did I say?
They rate us.
They rate us, man. We got rated. No, we didn't. They rate us.
They're going to rate us.
I had that Baltimore accent coming
You did.
through.
It was funny. Sorry. If you're looking for other ways to support the show, you can tell a few chicken-loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. And the other thing you can do to really help us is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay!
So, not sure if anyone has gotten the memo, but we're kind of chicken people.
Yeah, we're into chickens.
So, recommending an omelet igloo coop is a pretty easy gig.
Because we're into igloos too.
Yep. I've had mine for about 6 years. I've got a Go Up, 3 cubes, and a Pro.
Oh, so I have an Igloo Pro.
If you don't know igloos, they're green.
A dream to clean.
Fort Knox for your flocks.
If you're into chickens, you need to get into igloo coops. And right now, they're 20% off.
Ooh, Black Friday. You know the deal.
Oh, I know the deal. Search omelet. That's OMLET.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you like monthly subscriptions?
Does it have anything to do with chickens?
Of course.
Then yeah. Let us take a minute to tell you about Chicken Love.
You get a monthly Chicken Lady tea, treats for your flock, and a keeper care card.
And did you know with every multi-month subscription, you get a free Chicken Love logo t-shirt?
Really?
Yeah.
It's $36 a month with free shipping.
What are you waiting for? Get off the nest and click already. That's chickenlove.com. That's chickenluv.com. Get your subscription today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. The leaves are falling down. It's November. The leaves are falling down. And it's time for the Breed Spotlight this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got into that one.
I know. I was like clapping.
You were dancing a little bit, snapping.
I just want to tell you this publicly.
Oh, God. I'm scared.
But, because Pete does the third run-through of our show, right?
What did he think of the intro?
He said that was the most gloriously bad intro you've ever done.
Did he laugh?
I don't remember. I was laughing.
The owl one?
Yeah.
The owl. At the end, they don't shave their beards.
Remember that Willie Nelson commercial? Like years ago, we got in trouble for not paying taxes. They're like, Willie, we'll give you $1 million if you shave your beard. He's like, give me the can. Anyway, all that to say, this week's Breed Spotlight is
the Double Silver Laced Barnevelder.
That does not mean you get 2 chickens.
No, but hey, the Barnevelder.
I need a double Barnevelder.
It is no secret.
Hey, you were in the Betsy Johnson chain
yes.
chicken that I gave you.
Yes.
Sorry.
It actually goes with this outfit.
It does.
It's low cut.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a low cut outfit over here.
And so am I.
You can't see this because it's audio, man, but
right?
we're both wearing low cuts.
Mm-hmm. Look at us go.
So, yes.
It's because we're at the table and the gravity can't work really well.
The Barnevelder is no secret that we could have 100,000 Barnevelders and be happy.
Love these birds. They are fantastic.
They're some of our most all-time favorite. And I'll tell you what else. They're Instagram sometimes most all-time favorite bird.
Well, they're so stunning. All you need is the light to hit those feathers. And the highlights, the green, they're just stunning.
They are a beautiful bird. They're unique. They've got wonderful personalities. Wait till you hear the Breed Spotlight because the list goes on and on about this bird.
The beautiful Barnevelder has been growing in popularity. They are gorgeous.
You're welcome.
They They are good layers. They make very pretty speckled eggs. They have a great personality, and they are all around awesome birds.
We love ours, like to death. We love
One
them.
of the things that we really love about them is the fact that they're perfect for new chicken keepers. We can recommend them without a qualm.
They can go to anybody.
Now, if you're interested in the general history of this breed, go back and listen to episode number 138, where we profile the gorgeous partridge Double Laced Barnevelder. Originally produced in the Netherlands, Barnevelders have been around for a bit over 150 years. It took quite a while for them to become an established breed, but the Dutch Poultry Club finally accepted them in the 1920s. They started off very much as farm chickens who were good brown egg layers, but they weren't taken seriously as showbirds for those first few decades.
People were behind the times with them. Come on.
I would say so.
Yeah.
The original foundation breeds were simply called Dutch farm chickens, and who knows what they look like, and they were crossed with Langshans, and perhaps a tiny bit of Brahma or Cochin here and there, but primarily Langshans.
I could see it. Yeah.
It's also believed that dark Cornish were added into the double laced partridge Barnevelder at some point. I suspect when they were imported into the UK, probably. And you can see the Cornish in them.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Really, really. The dark Cornish, I think, are the most adorable birds.
They are so cute.
Once the dark Cornish were added, that may be the point when the original mostly black Barnevelder started producing the double laced partridge that we love so much.
Right.
And that was when the Dutch Poultry Club was like, oh, okay, this might be a chicken of merit.
Yeah, it might be a chicken that gets people talking. And let's just say, yes, it is a chicken that gets people talking.
They're so gorgeous.
We've heard, is this chicken half peacock? Is this chicken? Because the colors are so beautiful, the way they have green sheen. When a chicken has green sheen, when the sun hits it, you need no filter. You need no nothing. It shows it. It's beautiful.
The black lacing shows green and the brown glows like golden brown. It's just stunning.
That's the partridge. I mean, silver laced. Now you talk about double laced. That's double gorgeous. But lacing on chickens is just beautiful. I've been finding some of my feathers flying around that the Cochin are molting. Man, they're just beautiful.
They're beautiful. You don't have a partridge Cochin. I have nutmeg the partridge Cochin.
Yeah.
Stunning feathers. The double silver laced Barnevelders are the newest color variety of the breed. In the Netherlands, the color is currently accepted in the Bantam variety only.
Oh my God. A Barnevelder Bantam.
They're really cute.
They've got to be adorable.
There's not a lot of information about what breeds were used to create the silver or how it was developed, and it may be too new for that information to be available, or somebody might be keeping it a secret. I don't know. There could be anything.
Right.
Most sources are unsure how the double lacing came about to begin with. I just put out that one theory about the dark Cornish. If you're unfamiliar with double lacing, you want to think about a laced Wyandotte or a Cochin. I have seen a few sources claim that there is an infusion of Wyandotte, and that absolutely may be possible.
I could see that more than anything. They really do have that lacing like the Wyandotte. Now, the Wyandotte is a beautiful chicken.
They are.
So they pass the beauty, but hopefully not the personality.
Well, we'll see. Most sources are unsure how the double lacing came about to begin with. And if you are unfamiliar with double lacing, think of a laced Wyandotte or a laced Cochin.
Right.
And then imagine that there's two layers of lacing, one on the edge of the feather and another one inside of that. I like to think of it as the love child of lacing and penciling.
It's just gorgeous. I mean, if you are a chicken lady or gent that loves beauty in your chickens, no flock should be without a Barnevelder. And we actually have Pete to thank for ours because Pete was the one who wanted the really Barnevelders so badly, but now he's turned us all on. So Pete's the whole reason for this movement right now.
Now, the double laced silver has not been accepted by the APA. The partridge, the double laced partridge, was accepted into the continental class in 1991.
It's not that long ago.
Not that long ago. So I don't know where things stand on the double laced silver. I do know that there's a breed standard, the UK Poultry Club, that breeders are using right now.
Look at the boy.
He looks like my silver leghorn, except he's much bigger.
He's gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
He's really cool. Now let's go into what the Barnevelders are looking like. They're medium to large body birds. I kind of see they can be a little bigger. They can, like when they molt and have little problems with that, they can lose a little bit of that weight. They kind of go up and down, I feel like. The roosters are going to be weighing in between 6 and 7 pounds, where the hens are coming in about 5 to 6. It's a good medium-sized bird.
Yeah.
Now they have the medium-sized straight combs, shorter combs on the hens. So we have two different, ours are sisters, but their combs are totally different.
Right.
So you might see a little variation between the combs. And they have moderately sized wattles. Now, they do have those red faces, but also have a lot of feathering around their faces, too. Now, they have red earlobes and those clean yellow legs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the double lace silver has black lacing on a silver ground. Okay, essentially replacing the brown base in the double partridge lace Barnevelder.
You switch out that golden brown for the silver, essentially, yeah.
Exactly. Now, one of my favorite parts besides the personality of the Barnevelder are those eggs. Because the eggs are even different too.
Well, that's what they were really developed for, was laying these eggs.
So not only do you get a over-the-top beautiful chicken, one that's going to love your hugs and snuggles and be a great family chicken, but they are good layers of medium dark brown eggs, a lot of times with speckles.
The speckles are so cute.
Truffle has speckled eggs. I love them. I love finding them. They're beautiful color. They're rich, dark brown. Not like dark brown, but they're like a terracotta.
They are. It's definitely more of a medium brown.
Right.
And then the speckles are darker. Cupcake, her eggs are gorgeous. I mean, they're speckled like a turkey egg.
Yeah.
I love them.
Exactly. And now they're going to lay you around 200 or so per year. I mean, the eggs are just a plus. I mean, they're a great pet. They very occasionally go broody. Okay, so they're not going to be going broody on you, which is awesome there. But we would not consider them to be a broody breed.
No, not really. Overall, these chickens make an excellent breed for homesteads or small farms. They are considered dual purpose, and we know that they're good layers of those very pretty eggs. I can't say enough about those eggs. I love their eggs.
Their eggs, I mean, it's just another check mark of
it is
why you have to get them.
It's like bonus.
Yeah.
They're gentle and beautiful birds. They're wonderful for showing or just as a gorgeous addition to the chicken lover's flock.
I think they're a great pet for children, for anybody who just loves
They
chickens.
would be a nice 4-H bird for kids, yeah.
They have such a wonderful personality. Now, they do fairly well in both heat and cold because they got those medium-sized comb and wattles. It's not overly sized. And so they're great in areas like our area, like the Mid-Atlantic.
Where you have a lot of seasons, they handle it pretty well.
But with any brew, protect that comb against frostbite.
They are chatty and friendly and are very good companions. And really, our only caution with them is that sometimes they're too nice and they may get picked on by more assertive birds.
In the beginning, Truffle was getting picked on a lot, but now I see her picking on other birds. And I'm like, okay, so you're kind of finding your own. Here's a lot of things. A lot of times you see other breed spotlights out there and stuff. And so many people do not give this bird the chatty label.
Oh, they are definitely talkers.
And they're major talkers.
Yeah, they are.
I don't understand it.
I know. I've seen lots of people say like top 10 quietest breeds. Number 2 is the Barnevelder.
I'm like, what Barnevelder do you have?
Right. We must have a different strain that was like super talky genes. I don't know.
So here's the all important question. Where can everybody go to find the silver laced?
The double silver laced.
Double silver laced.
Double silver laced Barnevelder was originally imported into the U.S. by Greenfire Farms from the Netherlands in 2016 and then from Belgium in 2023. So they are currently selling the 2 double silver laced bloodlines separately, which is a great thing if you have a breeding program.
Right. So it's amazing.
Get you some Barneys.
Yeah. I mean, you can also go to My Pet Chicken. They have them too.
If you're looking for the partridge, McMurray is going to have them at some point during 2025.
And if you must have them now, My Pet Chicken does have them.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, use our affiliate link.
Use the affiliate link. Definitely. Go do it.
Please and thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Show us your Barnevelders. You see Truffle out there. We need to get Cupcake out there.
We do. Cupcake's a funny one because she was picked on a bit in the beginning and then Pansy adopted her.
Yeah.
And nobody messes with Pansy.
Well, like I said, Truffle was being picked on in the beginning and somehow she found herself.
Yeah.
She found that inner fierceness and now I saw her go after Katie multiple times.
Man, living dangerously.
Katie is the game warden, so I don't know. She's living dangerously.
Well.
Okay.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit MetzerFarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera.us.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today. Roosty's proudly sponsors Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. They're back with an innovative new product. You're going to want to check this out.
It's an extra large set, a 14-pound feeder in 3-gallon water with steep anti-roost lids. They're made of super durable material. You can either stand them on legs or hang them on brackets on your coop or fence. They're easy to remove and clean too. Plus, they look awesome.
We personally use Roosties, and we're huge fans. So if you're raising chicks or keeping chickens, check out the Roosty store on Amazon or follow the link in our show notes. Okay, now it's about that time for main topic. Yeah.
Yeah. This week, we are so thrilled to welcome Franchesca Duval to the table. You might know Franchesca if you've been following Alchemist Farm. She's in Northern California. Franchesca's been around chickens her whole life. She's been breeding professionally for about the past 10 years. She specializes in heritage breeds and gorgeous colored egg layers. Franchesca, welcome to the show.
It's an honor. I can tell we're gonna have fun.
Welcome to the table. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a blast. Hey,
We are.
anybody comes to our table and we're going to talk chickens, it's going to be fun. That's
It's
for
a
sure.
good day. I got my coffee. I'm ready. We're chatting. Let's do it.
I got my exercise coffee over here. I mean, it's big. It's the equivalent of like 3 cups, man.
Wow,
ready.
it's going down.
The heck is that thing? It's called a Stanley.
You and your trendy stuff. Anyway, Franchesca, we talked about this a little bit before we even started recording. I first saw you because you were breeding quail for a while there.
You are stuck on quail right now, woman.
I think it's the celadon green eggshells that really got me with the quail when I first saw them. Franchesca, you are best known for these absolutely gorgeous colored egg layers that you have. So like moss egger, sage egger, is that one of yours?
Yeah.
These stunning, stunning shades of green. What drew you to working with the colored egg layers as much as you have?
Great question. I was first enamored with the French black copper Moran's dark chocolate eggs. Because growing up, I had maybe like an Easter egger in my flocks. There'd be a couple blue eggs, and they were pretty novel in and amongst all of the tan eggs. But when I was an adult and I saw there could be a dark chocolate egg, it was like a little light was ignited inside of me. And I thought, that is so beautiful. How can nature do that? And so I started researching and seeing there's a whole world of color that I never see in the grocery store. And so I started collecting all of these different fun egg layers because I wanted to have that beauty in my house. And I love looking at beautiful chickens in the yard. But I think if I had to choose between beautiful plumage or beautiful eggs, I'd always choose beautiful eggs because then I can bring them in and enjoy that beauty inside of the house afterwards.
Now I was going to say, you tend to go towards the egg basket versus the color of the feathers and different things like that with the chickens. And that is the thing that there are people that rainbow eggs is everything to them. And that is awesome because rainbow eggs are so much fun. You don't have to die at Easter and all those things.
I'm plumage all the way. What do you think you are?
I'm a little of both. I do enjoy rainbow egg and I do have Morans. I have one Moran. I lost my Anastasia just a few months ago, who was 7, and I have her sister who's 8. But that does get to me too. It's like the dark, the speckled, the unusual. It's very eye pleasing, you know?
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
put that with amazing, beautiful chickens and you have a perfect recipe. So I want to ask the question of just tell us a little bit about yourself. How did the farm start and your story?
Thank you. My farm started completely out of the joy of my heart and wanting to offer something that I couldn't find elsewhere. So it initially started from those French black copper Moran eggs. I was like, okay, I would love to have those. And then, wow, there's the Swedish ice bar. Now people refer to them as Silver Rudd's Blue. And they do green eggs, sometimes with little purple speckles on it. What? Mind blown. And so I started researching all these things and wanting to collect some of these breeds. And when I went to order some, I found out about the practices of major hatcheries and how they treat excess male chicks. I won't get into it here because it's sad and dark. People can research that on their own. But when I found out about that, I knew in my heart I couldn't support that. So I thought, okay, how am I going to be able to have these beautiful breeds while doing it in integrity for myself? I got a hatch for myself. So I started with a little 6-egg incubator in my bathroom and some fertile hatching eggs that were a Christmas gift for my dad and sister. I didn't have any kind of big investors or any kind of big dream to start a business. It was really just this pure fascination with the colors of the birds and wanting to support right practices. One thing led to another of hatching out that first group of 6 eggs. And I started collecting more and more breeds and thinking, you know what? If this is important to me, I think this could be important to other people. And so I started offering it out. And slowly over time, over the last decade, we've been able to create this beautiful farm.
So what acreage are you on? How much acreage do you live on?
3.65 acres. We're definitely no mega farm. We're also not a small backyard. We are like right at a perfect homesteader in between.
You're in between Holly and I. I'm at 3, she's at 4. So yeah, you're definitely right in between.
So, that's space to play with, but it's also not like mega farm space.
Right.
Right.
I have a really large ecological focus with what I do with the farm. So there's the humane aspect of how I'm treating the birds, but also I want to respect the land. So we can only have so many birds here. So it's a limited resource that I have to offer.
That's wonderful, working with what you have and not overburdening your land. And there's something else you do that we really want to talk about. I think it's becoming more and more important. Your hatchery is essentially solar powered, right?
100% powered by the sun. Every single incubator, heat lamp, it's all solar powered. And our solar array is big enough that we're actually powering back the grid too. So we have excess power, which makes me feel good because we also ship our chicks. That has a carbon footprint to it. So I feel like, it doesn't perfectly offset it, but we're doing everything we can at our scale to try and make it right and run our business with integrity.
How involved was it to get everything set up so that you could, that you were 100% solar?
Super involved and a huge investment. Again, we didn't start with any kind of big investors. I still don't have any big investors. It's just me year after year, really listening to my heart and praying and saying, you know what's next? And God will show me you're using a lot of electricity and that's not from a clean source. Let's do something better. And we were able to generate enough revenue that year that we said, okay, we're just going to reinvest it in the farm and do what feels right to us. And so we got the big solar array. And the next year it was like, oh my gosh, look at all this garbage in our packaging of how we were shipping out fertile hatching eggs or how we were shipping our chicks. It felt like I was essentially shipping the chicks and the eggs, but also with garbage that people had to deal with. So I tackled all of our packaging and now it's all biodegradable and compostable. So when we send things out, we can educate our customers on that, get those wheels turning about their waste streams. And that feels really positive.
That's fantastic. I sell wool and wool products from my sheep.
Nice.
And when I went no plastic, I was nervous. I was afraid people were going to be angry. Did you have any blowback or has everyone received it really well?
People have received it really well. And I think it's how I educate folks on it. I never say, I'm making these changes because we're better than anyone else. No, it's like we chose to do solar because it felt right in our hearts. We chose to go plastic free because I've got 2 young children. I see how fast our landfills are filling up. I don't want to contribute to that. So I'm trying to do my part and trying to inspire other people to think about it too. Never with judgment, always with hope and joy and how I speak about it of this is what's possible. You can do it too.
Right. Yeah. So do you have your own flock on the farm or is everybody part of the breeding program or do you have your own babies?
Everybody is part of the breeding program except for our smaller breeds. So we have a group of Ceramas and we'll sell their chicks, but honestly, it's 10 a year. They're really just here for the love. They're no way a moneymaker, but my kids love them and I love them too. So they get to be closest to the house. They hang out in our little citrus orchard and they're 100% our babies. We love our
Can you imagine that? Relaxing after a long day in the orchard with your Ceramas? That is adorable.
So you're in Northern California. Whereabouts? Are you close to Napa Valley or Sonoma or?
Yeah, I'm actually in Sonoma County. So very close to Napa.
Very favorite places in the world. My husband and I traveled there and I wanted to move there instantly. So I was like, look, DeCarlo, I say this all the time, we could have a vineyard right in Napa or Sonoma, and our last name would be great for the wine. We could just bring all the chickens out and everything. So yeah, you live in a beautiful area of the country, that's for sure.
It's really mild weathered, so it makes it logistically easy to have our farm. I don't have to worry about things freezing or snowing for the birds. We'll get some heavy rain, but overall, I'm able to manage the land well. There's a lot of agriculture around us, which is really a positive thing.
There was one vineyard that I fell in love with, Trentadue out there in Sonoma. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. It's across from Coppola. Love it.
It's fun. And a lot of the vineyards around here, well, most
they have
of
chickens.
They have chickens, and their support crew that comes in and helps them tend to all the grapes are typically migrant farm workers. And those folks know how to work with rooster meat. And that's a lot of the people that we donate our excess male chicks to. So they raise them up, and then they have protein for themselves, their families, the other workers who are housed with them. And so that's part of how we're able to do what we do here. There's people who know how to work with that meat, and they're stoked for it. Feels really good to donate it.
Yeah, that's very nice.
That takes me into something else that you're passionate about, that we're passionate about too. And we really are going to start talking about a lot more. And that is food security.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many of our listeners, we have plenty of farmers and homesteaders who listen, but a lot of our listeners are brand new to chicken keeping. They're brand new to the idea of providing food for themselves and their families. How do you encourage people to take part in this? How do you encourage people that, yes, you can make a difference in your food supply?
Chickens are the perfect gateway for that because they don't need the kind of space that a cow or a goat or a pig would need. And so if you're going to choose one animal to have in your life and you have a small size scale backyard to work with, chickens are great. And they're an animal that provides us protein without any kind of harm to them.
Right.
You don't have to take of their body to have the meat. They don't have to become pregnant to give milk. People have all different ideas around that with the dairy industry. Mm-hmm. But for chickens, it's a natural process for them to lay eggs. It would harm them if they didn't lay the eggs. It's a true gift from them. And so people can have that feeling of being connected to their food sources. Egg prices are high right now. So is the cost of grain. But what I educate a lot of people on is that you can feed your chickens so many of your food scraps from the kitchen. If you have a family, there's always inevitably some leftover crust of bread or some part of the sandwich or school lunchbox that wasn't fully eaten. You can feed that to your flock. It's going to make their eggs more robust and rich. This cuts down on the waste that's going in the landfill, cuts down on your grain bill. So there's this beautiful cycle that comes through just from the chickens and eggs. And then if you have a little more space, you're getting free fertilizer. So suddenly you could have a garden bed or two. Yeah. And then all of the droppings from the chickens can go there. Excess fodder from, the trimmings from the different plants that you didn't eat can be fed back to the chickens. It's this beautiful circle. So chickens, I think, are the perfect homesteading animal and the perfect gateway animal for people to start looking at their own food security.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are so many great things to say about them. Chickens come in different sizes. Limited space, you might want to think about something like a leghorn. You can fit 5 leghorns where you could fit 3 Orpingtons and get a much better egg supply.
We talk all the time about urban chicken keeping, and some of the cities in the country allow it, and people can have just a very small footprint and have chickens. And which chickens are best for urban chicken keeping versus being on property and different things. So there's a lot of options for people. Mm-hmm. And I think that one of the number one things that I like about chickens is what you mentioned, is that you can make a bond, a relationship, an emotional relationship with your animal. You can love them, but they can also give you the gift of an egg and you don't have to harm them. That's one of the things that I love about chicken keeping and giving my own protein to my family, my friends, and my neighbors, that I can just take care of them and they give me this gift. So that is, I think, one of the draws for people for chickens for sure.
Yeah, there's a chicken breed for everybody.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
On a person's personality, what they're looking for, and their space. I do a lot of educating on this. If someone is in an urban setting, perhaps the Cerama is a better breed for you, or like our Bantam Cochins, our Double Silver Laced Barnevelders, even our Alchemist Blues. These are a smaller framed bird, guaranteed female if you know you can't have roosters in the urban setting, and they pump out so many eggs. I've been tinkering with different breeds to try and find breeds, crossbreed them here on the farm. This is just a process of egg selecting and putting roosters and hens together. This isn't some like GMO thing for people who are listening and they're wondering, how do you crossbreed? You know, this is a natural process of nature, but me selecting for birds that are smaller sized, still having good egg production for people who don't have large tracts of land, make it accessible for everybody to have that protein.
Right. We talked about the beautiful rainbow eggs, but you also breed a few lines of heritage breeds. Can you tell us what you really like about the ones that you work with?
Breeds that I consider heritage are breeds that have been around for a long time, that have a standard. They are like a stable breed. So there are some breeds I work with that I've tinkered with and I've crossbred, so they won't always look the exact same when they come out. A heritage breed should be uniform, should always look the same kind of color egg, been around for a while, really clean, long-standing genetics. And those are certain breeds that I want to protect for different reasons because I think they're really fun and they're not necessarily picked up by the larger hatcheries. So it's up to us, the smaller folks, smaller breeders, to preserve them. One of those is the Double Silver Laced Barnevelder, which in my mind is like a crown jewel of chicken beauty because they're black with this beautiful white lacing, but it's not a single lacing like you see on most of the birds, like a Silver Laced Wyandotte or something. These have double lacing, so it just looks so intricate.
We both have sister Barnevelders.
We have double laced partridge.
Yeah.
And we have seen the silvers, and they are absolutely stunning birds. And they have a fantastic personality.
In fact, my truffle, I just put a picture up yesterday of her after the molt, and the double lacing is beautiful on them. It's so eye-pleasing when the sunlight hits and they have the green sheen and the black, and just they're absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chickens with wonderful personalities and those dark speckled eggs. You can't go wrong with this.
They're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mostly sell chicks or eggs or both? How does your product usually go out?
Baby chicks. That's the main focus. And we ship them nationwide, even to Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Alaska. But I do so carefully, only certain times of the year when I know that the nighttime temperatures are high enough and it would be safe for the chicks. This is labor intensive because I'm checking every single order, cross-checking it with the weather each week. But it's part of what, in my mind, makes us a humane hatchery. We're not just shipping out and saying, good luck. Like, we're very careful with how we do it, how we package them. And we let customers know, I'm sorry, it might be a couple weeks here. That's got to do the best for the birds. And thankfully, our customers care.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, it's much more natural. You're working with the seasons. You're working with, well, the seasonal vagaries we have lately are something that farmers are dealing with too. So,
yes, it all sounds very nice. I like to come out, visit you, have a glass of wine from the vineyard, talk to some chickens. But yeah, egg color and rainbow eggs, it's part of what makes having your own chickens in the backyard fun. Colors that you can't get in the grocery store, which we could talk all day and night about battery hens and how horrible it is. But just by everyone that can have 4 chickens for their family, we would cut down on that supply and demand for those kinds of hens out there. So, it would be a good thing to get a few chicks to have some eggs for your family.
I mean, again, the question of food security, everyone should have the right to produce their own food security. It's super important.
And the problem is, in some towns and counties in the United States, it's not allowed. And that's kind of where we have to get past that and say, look, it shouldn't just be a question of being allowed or not allowed. If you want a chicken, you should be able to have a chicken.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's been being done since the beginning of time.
Well, not really. I have to put the historian hat on. It's been done for probably somewhere around 10,000 years.
That's as close to the beginning of time as we're going to get.
It feels like we've been around since then.
Chickens have been with us for a very long time. A lot of people say dog is a man's best friend, but I argue it's chickens. When they do all these archaeological digs, there's always signs of chickens right there with humans.
Yeah.
When people would be exploring or going out in their boats, they're taking chickens with them because they can self-replicate. They're giving them that food. Like, they're an incredible creature.
Each chicken has their own personality and has that emotional capacity to love. So, you are able to have that human to animal bond that's more like a pet than even a farm animal. With their number 3 or 4 on the pet list.
They're number 5. Birds, including poultry, are number 5 on the pet list. I mean, I do like to envision a Viking longboat filled with sheep and chickens. I mean, that was a thing that, the Vikings moved a lot of birds and sheep around Northern Europe.
They did.
The Icelandic chicken is its own fest. You don't have the Icelandics, do you?
No, I have only so much space, right? So I have to be careful.
Francesca, you need the Icelandics. Come on.
I know. If I was on 100 acres, look out. It would be next level. My husband's like, okay, it's good. We only got 3.65 kids.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. There's a lot of work.
Safer that way. Are there any pitfalls that you've come up against in your professional life that you think will be valuable for people to know about?
Oh, all day, every day. Farming is not for the faint of heart.
I agree.
Right?
I 1,000,000% agree.
Mm-hmm.
But if your heart is in it, if you're really called to it, it's been the best lifestyle for me and my family because it gets us outside, it gets us moving off of screens. Our circadian rhythm is with the sun rising and the sun setting. We're getting
It's a
those
double-edged
natural
sword.
microbes.
It's a double-edged sword, right? You got to do it because you want to do it. It's in your heart. You care. But because you care so much, those things that happen hurt so much. So it's definitely double-edged, but worth it. So worth it.
You're saying like if there's predation or harm
you
to the
feel
farm.
it.
Oh,
yeah.
Heck yeah. I mean, next level.
Yeah.
My heart is quite open. That's how I can hear what the next steps are that I'm supposed to do with the world. What's my life purpose? It's funny to be like, wow, chickens are your purpose? Yeah, they actually are because they can't speak for themselves. But here I am and I'm trying to speak for them.
It's fascinating how vulnerable you have to become to sometimes understand and succeed in endeavors like farming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a scary thing to do. Open your heart to the possibility of failure. But if you don't, you're never going to, I think, find your true calling or find what really works for you.
Yeah.
Being an animal nurse for 15 years, it's the same exact thing. You do it because you have a love and you're drawn to animals. But it kills you when you can't save them. And it kills you when you try something and it doesn't work. It's the same thing as farming. You have to be open, but it cuts you still.
And it gives skills for when hardship arises like that. If there is a death, if there was predation, how to be able to steward the end of a bird's life, say it was attacked by a hawk.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of it with reverence and respect and not just leave it. So all of these are skills that you can't learn from a book. You can't learn it in a classroom. Farming is so hands-on. But for someone who is looking for an alternative life that is very rich in so many ways, it's a beautiful choice. So pitfalls, yes, every day. Like I am a constant problem solver of so many different things. Same with my husband. Will that help us later on to not have dementia? Hopefully. Our brains our brains are constantly creating new neural pathways of like, okay, today I'm a marketer. Tomorrow I'm going to be a technician on our tractor. And the next day I'm a veterinarian or a geneticist or a shipping manager. Here we go. Like I'm doing all these different things. It's what my heart's been called to. So
I call it the Chicken Chronicles over here at my place because every day there's something different I'm dealing with. You are right. Problem solving. It teaches you how to solve a problem and get through it.
Thinking on your feet is a very valuable skill as a farmer because, the hits keep coming sometimes.
A human. We all need it, right? And I feel like a lot of us have kind of lost that skill.
Yeah. How do your kids like it? Do you feel like they're happiest in a farm environment or are they sort of like, Mom, why can't we have what the other kids have?
That's a great question. I've never seen them compare themselves to other kids of like, gosh, I wish I was in an urban setting and not on a farm. I also know they don't know anything different. They lived there their whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
One of my children was born here in our house. And so they're like very married to the land. And they probably won't realize until they're adults what they have and how unique of an experience it's been to have a constant petting zoo of baby chicks hatching each week that they get to see.
Exactly.
I mean, I grew up on a farm. We didn't have poultry. I got my poultry as an adult, but it makes all the difference in the world. Like so many things that I learned watching a baby horse born
So we have 2 more questions for you. The first is, what do you see for the future of Alchemist Farm? What do you see on the horizons? What's new? What scoop can you give us?
I love educating in all different capacities. And so far, I've loved educating through like Instagram or writing blogs because that's just a form of communication that's been easy and intuitive for me. I'd like to move into more of working with kids and empowering them to be asking questions about being potential future farmers of tomorrow. We donate a lot of hatching eggs to schools all around us. We don't ship them because they get really beat up in the mail, but if people can come and pick them up, we donate them for free to classrooms. And the joy that I see unfolding for kids' eyes when they get to see life being born for the first time and cheering those chicks on, it's pretty mind expanding. And so I would love in some capacity to be educating kids more.
We were just talking to Jeanette Behringer of the Livestock Conservancy a few weeks ago about the same thing, about how children with the use of animals get so much more excited about being educated.
And the stats for these children's success in whatever subject they're working in after being exposed to animals in that subject is exponential.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't listened to that episode, go check out 206. Jeanette talks about this towards the end of the interview. It's really fascinating stuff.
It was really. So that's going to bring us to our last question for you.
This is the most unfair question of all, and we ask it anyway. You are allowed to have more than one answer because I think we each have like 10 answers. What is your favorite breed of chicken?
I knew this was going to be it. You're going to grill me. My feet are to the fire. And I'm going to have to like whisper it into the microphone because I don't want any of my hens to hear, right? Like, how do you choose a favorite child? Ladies, you really put me on the spot. If I could only have one breed here with my family, I think it would be the Cerama because they do very little damage in the gardens.
They're one of my faves.
And so I can have them in the garden with us. They're still laying eggs, and they do like to lay eggs in these secret little pirate stashes. And so it's fun to try and find them around the yard. They're definitely not a practical chicken breed by any means. But
that's okay.
You got me because I thought you were going to say French Copper Marans.
For the egg color, heck yeah. That would be number one. Or like if the apocalypse were happening, I would take all of my Alchemist blues because they're really predator wise and resilient with some silkies because the silkies will hatch out a rock, you know, and turn into a chick. So if there's no electricity, then I'm keeping some silkies and they're hatching out all these fertile eggs for me. Yeah.
I always say that I would have my chickens on my head in my bed if that happened because people would be they would be like in my bed, all 20-something chickens and the dogs and the parrot. Even protecting them.
If I had to do a doomsday breed, it wouldn't be my favorite breeds.
It would be the best breed to get you fed.
Here in Maryland, it would either be my Dominiques or my Swedish Flowers. It would be one of those two.
I think if I had to do that, it would be my Leghorn. I mean, honestly, it would be a chicken that's very reliable, who is just naturally a good egg layer and comes through. Right now, she's got half of her feathers, so she's molting badly. I'm like, hurry up and finish this molt, girl.
I'm looking at egg production when I'm choosing that kind of breed. Egg production, climate resilience, predator awareness, those kinds of things. Like these are the survivors. So here, ladies are picking the survivors and size, you know?
That's definitely.
Grain to egg ratio and all that.
Yeah. The Leghorn lays a big egg for a little chicken.
They do. The Dominiques and the Swedish Flowers, however, still, my girls, one is 8.5 still laying, and the Dominique is 7.5 still laying. Lots of eggs. So many birds to choose from.
Really are.
Where are our followers going to find you?
On our website, alchemistfarm.com. You can check out all the breeds we work with. You can order baby chicks there, depending on when you ladies air the episode. We offer our pre-sales usually in like middle of November for the following year. 2025 season goes from February around Valentine's Day to Halloween of October.
Nice.
So there's a nice long window there to be able to ship people usually on the West Coast in the beginning of spring, or Texas, a little warmer there, even Florida, because all of our shipments go overnight. And then towards the middle of the season, we can help all of the states out that get pretty cold.
Okay, so thank you, Franchesca, and I love your name, for coming on and talking to us all about Alchemist Farm. We'll have all the links in our show notes. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
It's been a pleasure. You ladies are awesome. Thank you for making me laugh.
We can't wait to have you back soon. We'll talk to you sometime soon. Bye.
Woohoo!
We just want to thank Franchesca one more time for a really thoughtful conversation. I love the fact that her whole hatchery is solar powered. That's amazing.
Thank you, Franchesca. We had such a great time chatting with you. And now it's time for
Cracking the eggs.
cracking those eggs. Now, we have an extra special treat, and it's going to be a once a month extra special treat.
We have the wonderful Amy Van Leuven from the Good Egg Company.
And she's going to be joining us once a month for cracking the eggs. We are so excited. Here's where we need to insert our applause. Da-da-da-da! Yay! Welcome, Amy, to cracking the eggs.
Hi, thank you guys. I'm so excited to be here and to be with you every month. It's going to be fun.
We are super excited to have you with us. And we're super excited about what you're bringing us this month.
Okay, so what's our recipe?
Yes, so as you guys know, I kind of have gone off on a health journey with my whole cancer journey. So I have kind of missed out on a lot of sweet treats because sugar is one of the first things I cut out after my diagnosis. So I kind of experiment. We call it my experimental kitchen. And I try to figure out what I can still kind of have as a treat that doesn't have sugar in it. So I decided to bring to you guys my nearly sugar-free, it can be totally sugar-free if you want it to be. I did it nearly sugar-free creme brulee.
Yay!
Creme brulee is amazing. And you're making this with duck eggs?
I am, yep.
It's going to be delicious. Okay, so can you give us a list of the ingredients that we're going to need for this recipe?
Yes, here we go. So you're going to need 2 cups heavy cream. I do 5 duck egg yolks. It's kind of a lot, but I like it.
It's great. It's
That's
rich.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds good already.
Yep. Then 1/2 cup of baking monk fruit sweetener. So this is my sugar replacement. Okay, so I get the baking monk fruit. I get the Lakanto brand, but really any kind will work. And then
Where can you find that?
Wegmans.
you can
Wegmans?
there, she knows. I got mine at Walmart. I know they have it at Sprouts as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to
Nice.
find. And if all else fails, I'm sure they have it on Amazon as well.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
And then 1 pinch of salt, which I like to use Redmond salt. If you have ever heard of them, you can get them online as well. They're based out of here in Utah, so I like to support them. And then 1.5 teaspoon of organic vanilla extract. And then the topping, if you want to do the alternative sweeteners, they don't really caramelize like sugar. So for the top, I used raw turbinado sugar.
Oh, yeah. I have that in my pantry.
It's good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. That's all the ingredients.
Yeah. So if you want to change up the taste a little bit, you have an optional ingredient to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. So something that I wanted to try because it is fall time and pumpkin spice is everywhere. I decided to try to experiment with a pumpkin spice creme brulee, and it turned out really good. I really liked it. So if you feel like having something a little more festive, you can add just a teaspoon of pumpkin spice into your.
That's nice. That's a great Thanksgiving recipe. Since this episode is dropping a week before Thanksgiving, you have time to plan if you want to. I mean, sometimes you just eat too much stuffing, and a little ramekin of creme brulee might be a little easier to down than a giant piece of pumpkin pie.
And I like this for bake it and take it to somebody's house, and you will look so fancy when you show up with it.
Oh yeah. You bring your torch with you, bust that out. No one will mess with you ever again.
Okay, so how should we go about making this?
Okay, so first step is preheat your oven. So 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And then while that's preheating, I heat the cream on the stovetop. I'm just going to bring it to a simmer and then just take it off the heat. And right after that, you're going to add in your vanilla. And if you want to add your pumpkin spice, you're going to add that in and just whisk it together.
If I made it, I would be adding pumpkin pie spice to mine.
Oh, yeah. It's really good. I'm getting all crazy. I'm like, I wonder what else we could do. Maybe you should try like a peppermint creme brulee. Is that crazy?
Oh, that would be so good.
That does sound good.
Peppermint mocha.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But we gotta stay focused. Okay, this is pumpkin spice. Here we go.
Right.
So, yeah, add your vanilla pumpkin spice if you want. You don't have to. Whisk it. And then while that's cooling, you're going to separate your egg yolks. Duck eggs, if you are going to use duck eggs, I don't know if you guys have tried to separate duck egg yolks before, but they're not as easy as chicken.
Right.
Why?
So
Why is that?
their whites are really thick and it just really binds onto the yolk.
Oh, okay.
So it just takes some extra coaxing to get it to come off. It can get a little messy, but I found the best method for me, because I'll do the eggshell thing for a bit, but sometimes you have to do it with your hands, Just
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I don't have one of those.
Do you have a separator or no?
No, I don't. I don't know.
I wonder.
I've just done it like this. But a separator might be really helpful because I found myself just using my hands and I'm like, maybe I should buy one of those.
Everybody knows I'm the queen of having the kitchen gadgets here. So I do have one and I use it. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't. I just go back to my hands. So I go back and forth.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to give it a shot and see if it works. But yeah, they can be a little tricky. So you just have to be patient with separating them. But it's worth it because the yolks are so big and just great because the yolk ratio in duck eggs is bigger. So it's just extra goodness. So you separate those and you're going to put them into a medium-sized bowl. Then you're going to whisk in your monk fruit sweetener with your eggs. I whisked them, I would say, vigorously. I was a little out of breath there for a minute.
Okay.
So after your cream's cooled down, you want to make sure it is cool, right? Otherwise, you'll have scrambled eggs, which doesn't sound as good. Pumpkin spice scrambled eggs does not sound as good as creme brulee. So I like to just, if it's not cool, I kind of do this where I pour it into my measuring cup and I pour it back into the pan to just kind of help cool it down faster. And then after it is cool, you're going to slowly pour it in while you're whisking just to make sure it's all nice and even and not cooking any of the egg. And then once it's good and mixed, you're going to pour out your mixture into a sieve just in case.
Yeah. Just in case you had some shell in there.
Any shell, any mystery clumps, anything like that. We don't want that. Yeah. We sieve that out. And then you're going to just pour it into your ramekins. I use 10-ounce ramekins because why not? I figure if you're going through all the trouble, you might as well have a decent size.
I like that.
Go big or go home.
10-ounce ramekins, I like them. It's just fun to have more. It's sad when you have little ones. You put your ramekins into the casserole dish, and then you pour your mixture just evenly into each of the dish. Then you're going to fill up your dish, your casserole dish, with hot water. And this is the tricky part because you don't want to splash it into the ramekin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I use my tea kettle that has like a long spout, and I just kind of carefully go on the edge.
How high do you fill the water?
About halfway up the side of the ramekins. And then very, very carefully, you're going to transfer that from your countertop into the oven without splashing, right? And then you just put it in the center of your oven. And I check on it about 35 minutes. Because they're larger ramekins, it takes like 40 usually, 40, 45. But if they were smaller ones, it's usually about 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just check on it. I like to check on it just in case something happened. And so at about 35 minutes, I'll check on it. And you want to just jiggle the casserole dish just really lightly. And if the middle is jiggly a little bit, but the outside of it is set, then that's what you want it to be. So if it's not really there yet and it's sloshing around still, then you give it a couple more minutes, check on it again until just the middle is a little jiggly. And then after that, you're going to take them out of the oven and you're going to set the ramekins out on cooling racks and let them get to room temperature first. And then they go in the fridge, and they can go in the fridge for at least 2 hours before you prepare them, but they can stay in there up to 3 days. So
nice.
Oh, great.
I like that because then you can just kind of pre-make them and just have them sat there. And then when you're ready to bust out the torch and impress all your friends.
Oh, yeah. Can you do this under the broiler if you don't have the torch?
So I have personally not tried it. I have read a lot of stories of people who try it that said it doesn't work quite as well, but I don't know. I haven't tried it myself.
Okay.
We'll have to put a torch on our Amazon storefront, so in case somebody wants to try it, they can go to the storefront and find one there.
Are you buying a torch?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to be around here if she's buying a torch.
So there's like cute little culinary torches that I saw on Amazon that I was gonna get. This is a funny story. I was gonna get one of those. I'm like, oh, that's easy, and it's like $7. Sure, I'll get that to make this. And Bryce, my husband, Bryce. He comes in. He's like, no, 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 no. Trust me, I have exactly what you need.
Oh God.
And I'm like, no, I'm talking about a culinary torch, like a small one. He's like,
Yeah.
trust me, I have exactly what you need. It's not too big, I promise. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes. You have to trust me. Why don't you believe me? I know we have, he just assured
We know Bryce. I wouldn't trust him either for that.
And I'm like, okay, I won't order this culinary torch. And he brings in the torch that's like this long, and then the tank on it is like, it's like a foot-long tank.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm like, I'm holding the tank like this.
I'm not surprised at all.
So he saw me doing it, and he realized, he's like, well, maybe you
Go ahead and order it.
Culinary torch.
You said
But hey,
$7?
Yeah, it did work. It just was a little cumbersome.
That's kind of overkill, I guess.
So you're just heating the sugar that's up on top after it cools to kind of caramelize over top.
Yeah, we didn't even get to that part. Yeah, so that part, you're going to take them out of the fridge, sprinkle a little layer of sugar. So I do the turbinado sugar on top, and you just take your torch and you do little circles pretty quick, because if you stick on it, you'll burn it. So you just do really quick little circles around, and it'll start to caramelize. And that's the tricky part, because you can underdo it and you can overdo it, right? So it's just, the timing needs to be right. So you just do little circles around. But honestly, it wasn't as hard as when I first started making it. It wasn't as hard as I had thought it would be.
Mhm.
I was so intimidated before I made it. I'm like, oh, I have to be
You
like
could
a
do
fancy
this
person to make creme brulee, but you really don't have to be a fancy person.
No, but you can impress all the people when you make it. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm fancy. So that was cool. It felt cool. It does make you feel really cool when you do it. And then, yeah, so if you do it just the right amount of time, you'll have this nice caramelized, crunchy shell. If you overdo it, it'll just turn kind of gooey.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
So you've overdone it if it turns to goo.
Yeah, if it's burnt and turns gooey, yeah.
I was just thinking we forgot the very first initial step of the recipe.
What?
Wash your eggs! I thought that too. I'm like, oh man, I missed.
Go back and wash those eggs.
Go back, start over, and wash your eggs.
Wash those eggs.
Oh my God. Okay, Amy, it was so fun having you on Cracking the Eggs. We can't wait until next month and see what you come up with. Or if Bryce brings in his torch to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bigger meringue.
We'll see what happens. You never know. But hey, I was gonna throw out too about the monk fruit, because I know that some people might not be familiar with it. So this is something that you can use if you are sensitive sugar, if you're like, it's safe for diabetics as well, because it doesn't raise your glycemic index.
Nice.
And it doesn't have it contains almost 0 calories, so low calorie, doesn't raise your glycemic index, and studies are actually coming out that show that it has antioxidant properties in it, as well as anti-inflammatory. So not only is it just like a replacement for sugar, but it's actually adding beneficial nutrients to.
I'm going to the store to get some today.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm all about that. And it doesn't hurt your teeth either, so.
It's awesome. Okay, we'll talk to you next month.
All right.
We can't wait. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Amy. Remember, we're going to have a recipe for Amy once a month. We're going to do her healthy stuff. Go make you some creme brulee for Thanksgiving. Thanks, Amy.
Delicious. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. We're keeping it with the Thanksgiving vibe here. This week's retail therapy, we are talking
Vintage turkey salt and pepper shakers. And I saw them first.
Well, we all know what happened in Ohio. Now, one of us has a salt shaker and one of us has a pepper shaker.
No, I brought the Tom over. They are reunited.
They're in our studio.
They are. Because I bought myself a set of them.
One bought one and one bought the other.
I was like,
Somehow
oh,
they got
you are
some-
not getting this Tom turkey. But he's back, and I did get myself a set of them. So, well, I'll start off by saying that this time of year, hit your thrift shops, because there is turkey stuff everywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere,
It
man.
starts coming out in like September.
Sometimes you got to get it early.
And then Also, once Thanksgiving is over, look around then.
Hit those sales, man.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You can get vintage salt and pepper shakers, or you can get new. And at some point,
this is vintage.
We're talking vintage, but at some point, the ones that you get now that are new will be vintage. So
yeah, when we're 80.
Well, maybe for our kids, they'll be like, remember when you got
What am I, leaving them to the sheep?
Sophia and Ella can have all of our stuff.
They're going to be like, we don't need Holly's turkey stuff too. Mommy's got a ton of it.
Well, wait, I do need to have a little caveat here. Like, okay, so check out Target these days. This is not vintage, but they do have pink and turquoise, teal turkey salt and pepper shakers for $3 a set. That is
really cool.
Thrift store prices right there.
They're really cool. And like we were saying, is at the price, you can get a bunch of them and put one on each person's plate and make it a place name holder.
Place setting thing.
You can also use them like if you have your food set out buffet style. You could use them to make
on your charcuterie board.
Right. You can use them to make like dish labels for each dish.
Food labels, cheese labels. For $3 for two. The world
They're
is your oyster.
super cute. I mean, Target has a really nice Thanksgiving collection this year.
There's a little boy that Sophia's teaching, and she said all the time when she says something to him, he says,
That's cute.
So now she's been telling me that. So now I found myself just doing it, not even thinking about it. So yeah. Okay, let's go over the places you can find these because, man, they're everywhere.
Try your Goodwills.
In the wild, baby. In the wild.
And I think in the wild, at least here in Maryland, what I see more than anything is like ceramic decorative turkeys. Yeah. Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think I'm doing a turkey this year, I think I'm doing quail on my table.
Ooh.
My gold quail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? If you live in Ohio,
you can find anything.
Your antique stores are awesome. Right? So we found a plethora of turkeys there when we went there last fall.
Including napkin holders.
Everything.
And
that's the one I ran to before you saw it.
Shut it.
I did not say a word. I was stealth-like.
Candle holders, little turkey candle holders too, which are super cute.
Oh, yeah. When we're thrifting together for stuff like that, you have to be silent and sneaky a little bit before the other person sees it. Or check the sections that they don't check first. Everybody goes to housewares.
I don't always.
But see, we went there. Holidays right now is where you need to go for the turkey stuff.
Right.
That's the section you need to go for these salt and pepper shakers.
Yes.
There are so many cute ones out there. We can't even name them all. Take a 5-minute vacation. Go to Etsy. Go to eBay. Go to your local thrift shop and just walk around.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody deserves a little thrift break here and there and have some fun.
And if you don't feel like doing that and you just want to get, say, the ones from Target, well, have at it because they are super cute.
We should give one lucky listener a trip to a thrift store with us. They would laugh themselves silly.
You got to wear football pads.
Nobody would want to go. They'd be like, no, I'm sorry. We're not going, man.
I took Michelle with me. That's when I found the really neat thing for your birthday. I took Michelle with me and like you were saying, she's still polite. Like, oh, you saw that first.
You saw that first. Meanwhile, I'm like.
We would have been tackling each other in the aisle. Like the platter would have been flying through the air.
I know. I'll be like, oh, you guys are still polite. Oh, okay. That's the problem when you're with your best friend and you both look for the same stuff.
I usually let you win. You know that.
I'm stealth-like. That's what I think.
I just let you win. That's all.
Okay, so go check out their salt and pepper shakers. Have fun. Okay, so should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week is our Thanksgiving episode.
Happy Thanksgiving! Go watch a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I love that one.
That's a cute one. We are spotlighting the beautiful Narragansett turkey.
They are cool.
Main topic is yet again a surprise for you and us. Cracking the egg. It is always fun. Cracking the eggs, we're going with a Maryland special. Smoked oyster stuffing. Or if you're in Maryland, it's dressing.
Yeah, it's just dressing, man.
And retail therapy, continuing our theme, turkey on nest dishes.
Because you're going to need some. I don't have one yet.
Ho, ho, ho.
I got to find one in the wild. That would be fun.
I have my vintage Williams-Sonoma cranberry glass one.
If we both saw one in the Goodwill, that would be a tackle fest.
Oh, yeah, it would.
It would be laughing.
You would be going down hard.
Okay, so what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens.
every day and kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thanks for listening.